I always wondered about this entrance right here, coming into Pisgah Cemetery. It says Ruth Fife Memorial. I've asked several people, nobody seems to know. You could tell at one time, I believe, it was gated and had a fence on it of some sort. I say gated. As you can see where the bolt sticks out here. And there's another one right there at ground level. Same thing on this other side. You can see the bolts. And if you look, it's worn now, but I tried to make it ornate where it come up and round it out. You can see it better in some spots than others. Been there a while. You can see the ornateness left a little more on this side. On that left side. Then you come over here to the left of where we just were. You can't see it because of the bushes, but the first one was Ruth Fife. And you see another one, and it says Pisgah Cemetery in the top of it. Looks to be a little bit different design than what the other one is. If you look on this one, the edges don't come out square. They're tapered off. Got bolts through it, like there might have been a gate. It's got the tapered edges all the way around it. Looks like it was set in two pieces. Or maybe three pieces, I guess you'd say. I don't see nothing wrote on the back of this one. And then I believe there's a third one over here. And so now if you're looking at the Pisgah Church from Pisgah Road here in Perry, Florida, we're on the far left hand side. This is the third one of these. This one too, it's hard to read, but it also says Pisgah. Looks to be done in the same style as the other one that says Pisgah. The lettering in it. And you can see the tapered edges. So hang on, we ain't done yet. So my question is to some of you people who know about Taylor County, we know about the Pisgah communities and different things. There's no doubt that the oldest graves are right here behind the church, which is between the two entrance pillars that say Pisgah. But then the entrance pillar on the other end says Ruth Fife Memorial. I've tried looking up something like that on that and I can't find it. So I'm just wondering, was that something that was added later? Was that just paid for by somebody named Ruth Fife? What was the deal? And in each corner, and when I visited family and explored the graveyard before over here, I've always found these. There's one over behind the original sign area, and all of them have this pipe sticking out of them. So, just wondering if maybe some of you people who know a lot about the local history know much about the history of this graveyard and why it's got the two different names. I guess the name of the cemetery and then the Ruth Fife Memorial. We're going to ease back here to this corner on the left side. There's another one of these back here. The one I just showed you is sitting over here. That's the first Pisgah, and that's the church. I see he's back here. So just for reference, the Ruth Fife Memorial entrance I showed you is over in that direction. Then there's a Pisgah entry there. There's the church. There's a Pisgah entry gate, that sign. That corner is the little corner pedestal I just showed you. So we come down here to this corner and we find another one here. If you look at that, it looks just like those others. Bolted in, some pipe on each corner with some fence coming off. We're gonna walk down this fence line now and look for another one. And you can tell these fence posts on this fence, they've been here a minute. Wire might have been changed a few times over the years, but them posts been there a while. Now, the corner we just come from, the second one of them corner posts is down there. That's that middle entry, and it says Pisgah on it. So we're gonna look over here in these bushes and see if we can find any kind of cornerstone like we've been seeing in them other places. Might not be one, but they might. It might just be growed up in the fence. What I'm figuring is if this coincides before that Pisgah, in between somewhere, and that Ruth Fife Memorial entry, this might have been part of the original cemetery, and that was added later, I don't know. But so far, I'm not seeing the other corner piece. All I'm seeing, well, I would think it'd be somewhere in this 20-25 foot stretch where the old sign was. Because it's hard to see, but you see that flagpole? I'm gonna zoom you into a spot on the left, and there's a big slab up there. And you can tell the sign is newer than it, and we'll walk up before we leave. But let me see if I can get you. It's kind of hard to see it, but it's way over there. There's one of these corner pieces like that over there. So I was figuring if that was the original boundary, we ought to find another corner piece here with some pieces in it showing where a corner would have been. But I'm not seeing one, so that theory might not. Here we go, right here. Let's see, let's look at what we got. Yeah, that kind of fits my thought on it. You see where they got that cut in and the fence comes off. Well, the cemetery goes on to the right, but instead of it cutting out to the right, you see it's cut in here. And then the fence comes off of it. Instead of being cut in on that side, it's cut in like a corner, like the other one was. So that pretty much, what we're gonna do, we're gonna walk up this way. And we're gonna walk up to where the sign is, and I'm gonna show you another one. I believe this was the edge. I believe if we go the opposite way, we won't be able to find one in that corner. So before we walk up to where the Ruth Memorial Fife sign starts, let's first just go over here and see one, if we find one. That don't necessarily mean anything, but if we don't find one in this corner, that would lead me to believe this was added afterwards. I'm sure there's somebody out in Taylor County's history that knows the answer to that. Why there's two different names on two different entry gates. And I could be wrong. We'll see if there's another one of those markers over here in this corner. If this end over here was added afterwards, in my thought, and it don't mean that, probably means we're not going to find one in this corner if those were part of the original. Got a little thick azalea in the way. We might stir up an old snake. No, there is no corner like that. It's a post. So let's go back down halfway and walk up. And we should be able to find maybe a couple more. At least one more. Let's go see. So that marker is hidden in bushes. We just come back here. We found the marker in that corner. We didn't find the marker in that corner, it's just a wooden post. The marker we found here appears to have originally been a corner post coming this way that was modified. So let's walk up toward the sign, which is straight up there, and see what we see there. So here behind the Pisgah sign, we're right by the road. That entry that stands right there says Pisgah. That one that's hid by that bush says Ruth Fife Memorial. Now here's another post I would consider, I guess, a corner post. But on the front of it, it's got a post to coincide, a post that coincides with the one back there. It coincides with that corner back there. But I don't see where anything comes off for this direction. So maybe the original cemetery was open on the front and the parts were added afterwards for the entries. But ain't no doubt that at one time it must have been fenced. So my guess is, and I got a question, the original Pisgah Cemetery, we know the oldest graves are over there, so it must have started and come down through here, with this corner being about probably where Pisgah sign is, the corner of the cemetery, coexist with that corner stone back there. So apparently this side must have been added later. There's no corner markers like that on this side. My question is, the Ruth Fife Memorial, I hadn't really been able to find a whole lot on that, and I'm sure somebody out there knows something on it for them to have named part of the cemetery over here after them. They either had to have been something tragic, or maybe they donated the land. Not sure. Maybe they were wealthy or had done something in the community that was exceptional. There got to be somebody out there in Perry that knows. So if you know about that or know somebody that does, I appreciate you hooking me up. A lot of my family buried in this cemetery, and over the years I always wondered about the evolution of this cemetery. As you could tell, it had changed as many others had, but I just never could find anything really outstanding that I could find on a Ruth Fife Memorial. So I appreciate y'all joining me. The next time we do a cemetery video, we'll be walking through another one, probably remembering some of them folks, reliving some good old days with them.